Hello, everyone. Thank you for joining me again this Tuesday. Today's Tuesday, December 21st. What a great day it was. What a great day it was. I spent a lot of time just reflecting, meditating. Oh, I had chills several times today. It's almost like my spirit is just lifted up. Anyway, give me 1 second here. I just want to make sure that we are. Yes, we are. Okay. I have a new platform for our broadcast. If you go to our website, www.renewingmylife.com, you'll see it on the sidebar. If you're on a computer, it's on the sidebar. If you're on your mobile device, it's scroll down towards the bottom of the page and you'll see where it says webinar. And it's a little, it's a platform where, we can all gather and chat, and you can ask a question, and you can register this way. We can all stay in contact with each other. Oh, I didn't realize I'm not even on the screen yet. Okay. There I am. That's, I got 3 windows open here, and I'm trying to go back and forth. Anyway, so tonight, let me just tell you, I spent yesterday going over some old studies that I did, some research papers, and some courses. I browsed through a couple courses that I had taken over the years, and I gathered some information that I just want to pass on to you. I don't know. It really changed me today. I mean, I really did feel good today. Go figure. Anyway, tonight I'm going to tell you 6 words that are going to change your life if you understand these 6 words. Okay? I'm going to split them up though. I'm going to tell you 3 of them in the beginning, and then I'm going to give you another 3 words towards the end. But before we get into that, I want to go over 10 things, okay, that you need to ask yourself. Because these 10 things are signs that you are mentally strong. So if you can't relate to any one of these, I mean, it's no big deal. Then just keep a mental note so maybe you need to work on that a little bit. First, are you polite? Do you have manners? Second, do you show gratitude and appreciation? Are you open to new ideas? Are you open to criticism? Do you learn from your mistakes instead of dwelling on them? Do you look for solutions? Do you ask a lot of questions to find solutions? Are you comfortable with being alone? And I mean comfortable. And I mean alone. I don't mean, for an hour. Do you have self-control? You don't go MIA or give into things that you know are wrong. So, do you have that self-control? Do you have emotional clarity? Are you clear on how and why you feel a particular way? And it doesn't matter if it's a negative feeling, if it's a feeling of sadness or anxiety. What's important, what I'm talking about in this situation is, do you recognize it? Do you know what's causing you to feel that way? Are you optimistic? Do you look for the good in all situations and realize that it could always be worse? Are you okay with being wrong and imperfect? Can you honestly and openly admit that you were wrong and show willingness to make it right? Not afraid to show emotions instead of hiding these emotions to make you look stronger. Be willing to admit your weaknesses and your mistakes. Those are the 10 signs that show a person's mental strength. Like, are you mentally strong? Now, I'm going to give you 3 words. All right. First, I want to explain something really brief. If you don't have any understanding of the unconscious mind, let me just tell you something really quick. If this is your first time watching, listening, the unconscious mind hears everything. It observes everything. You're not consciously aware of it. You're not focusing on every little small detail that's going on around you. I mean, unless you're on some kind of drugs or something. But typically, you don't do that. We hear, our unconscious mind hears our own words, okay? It doesn't just hear the other words. It can't tell the difference between if somebody is speaking something to you or if you're speaking it yourself out loud. It doesn't know the difference. The unconscious mind isn't smart like that. The unconscious mind is more of a database where it stores emotions and memories, feelings, and it attaches like emotions with pictures and smells and it doesn't do the logical thinking. Let me just put it to you like that. The logical thinking is done in our brain, not in our subconscious mind. So keep this in mind, okay? That when we're speaking things, our unconscious mind is listening at all times. This concept comes from NLP, which is neuro linguistic programming. If you don't know what NLP is, but it actually goes much further back than that. It actually goes back to the ancient times of China, ancient Chinese. Qigong actually uses that same concept. That the unconscious is aware of all these things that are happening. So I'm going to give you, now that I told you that, I'm going to give you 3 words, okay? And these 3 words can make or break you. And when I say make or break you, meaning the less you use them, the better off you'll be. Try. The word try. I want you to really think about that word. Think about the word try. How do you try something? When you really put some thought into that word, you wonder where it even came from, because it makes no logical sense whatsoever. How do you try something? How do you try to do something? You either do it or you don't. You can't try. You cannot try to do something. The in between those the doing and not doing is actually attempt. It's not try. You can attempt to do something and fail at it or succeed at it. Take that word try out of your vocabulary. It's a negative word. You can't try. You have to attempt. That right there, when you remove that word, because automatically, if someone says to me, well, if I ask somebody to do something for me and they'll say, well, I'll try, that's a brush off. So automatically my unconscious mind hears that word and bam, I already know it's not going to get done. I know this already. You remove the word try from your vocabulary. Replace it with the word attempt. I will attempt to finish what I started. I will attempt to get this done. Because then your unconscious mind is hearing attempt, and that means it has to take action. You have to take action. Your mind is going to tell you you have to take action. When we hear the word try, we're just going to be like laid back and be like, well, I tried. No, you didn't. Seriously, remove that word. It's a pre-failure word. The other two words, the next word, why. The word why. Does it load information or emotion into the brain first? Ask yourself that question. The word why, does it load information or emotion first? If I ask you, why did that happen? You're automatically going to feel something, and it's going to be from the past. The mind automatically goes to the past when you hear the word why, because now you're going to replay whatever it is they're asking why about in your mind. So if you're trying to move forward, you don't ask why. Don't ask why, because it's not a way to move forward. When you ask why, you're all you're doing is rehashing a memory of something obviously that it probably didn't work out or didn't go as planned, or remove that word from your vocabulary. So try and why. Get them out of there. Third one, can't. The word can't imposes psychological limits that probably don't even exist in reality. Let me ask you this. When you hear the word can't, I can't help you, I can't do this, is it really that they can't? I mean, are they physically not able to do that? Chances are, yes, they can. There are some exceptions. Obviously, you can't ask someone who's crippled to get up out of his wheelchair and walk across the room. He's going to plain out say, I cannot do that. He physically cannot do that. But we overuse that word. Can't. I can't do it. I can't figure it out. I can't do this. I can't do that. Remove that word. Our brain our unconscious mind is listening. All you're doing is you're bringing yourself down level by level. Eventually, repetition over hearing that word, these three words. If you use these three words a lot in your vocabulary, you're going to find yourself stuck, because you have what's called limiting beliefs. Okay, you have over repetition, you have rewired your brain, your subconscious mind, to think that you cannot do these things. It's what's called limiting beliefs. When these words are used frequently, the repetition creates a thought pattern in our unconscious mind. So it's a thought pattern is the things that we do automatically, how we respond to things automatically without putting any logical thinking into it. Okay. Those are thought patterns. So when we're constantly hearing negative things, or using even ourselves, if we're using words that our own mind is picking up, or our unconscious mind is picking up, we are brainwashing ourselves and limiting ourselves to what we can do. So I'm going to tell you three other words that you should use. But before I do that, I want to share something else with you. These are a couple pointers for strengthening your chi or your energy. Okay? Keep these in mind at all times. If you can, jot them down or go back and listen to this another time. But first and foremost, center yourself. Always center yourself. At the center of your being, you have the answer. You know who you are and you know what you want. Okay? That is centering yourself. You have to gain that first before anything else. Center yourself. Don't be willing to sway either way. Don't be willing to be pulled this way and that way. You must remain centered. You must. There is a Chinese philosopher called, his name was Lao Tzu. He said, quote, "To the mind that is still, the whole universe surrenders," end quote. Know who you are. Be centered at all times. Do not be swayed in any direction. My friends, deep inside of us, when we have our quiet time and we're really doing some self-evaluation and trying to think about our life, and it comes easy that who we are and what we want. We have a vision, each of us do. We know where we want to be. So anything other than achieving or moving forward, progress towards that goal, is unacceptable. It's being done because you're blocked. And chances are you're blocking yourself just by your language, by your mindset. Relax yourself is another pointer. There's a Chinese proverb that says, quote, "Tension is who you think you should be. Relaxation is knowing who you are," end quote. That's an old Chinese proverb. And I don't even have to explain that because it makes perfect sense. Tension, we feel tension when we feel like we need to be something else other than what we really are. That causes tension within ourselves. Relaxation and peace is knowing without a doubt who you are, what you stand for. That's what brings you peace, inner peace. Another one, intention. What is your intention? Confucius said, quote, "The will to win, the desire to succeed, the urge to reach your full potential. These are the keys that will unlock the door to personal excellence," end quote. So what is your intention? Where is your heart? What is your, you've got to keep at all times clear intention. And finally, groundedness. You must be grounded, which means, again, back to centering yourself. Once you've centered yourself, you cannot and should not sway either way. You need to be grounded. You need to be grounded. Also means well, I mean, that's the best way I can put it, really. Is grounded means you're not willing to you have core values. Everybody has core values, okay? Now, I'm not saying you should be so stern, because that's not what I'm saying at all. That you're not willing to negotiate, you're not willing to hear opinions and be open-minded. I'm not saying that at all. But when you have a vision of, when you center yourself, when you have that vision of who you are and what you want, you must be grounded in that alignment, because If you're all over the place, you're never going to achieve what you have in here, and you're never going to be happy. Well, I hate to use that word happy because happy is a temporary emotion, but you're never going to be fulfilled. You're never going to feel fulfilled if you cannot achieve what you want. One more thing here there's a couple more things before I get to those three other words. I want to tell you something about fear. Fear is a funny thing, and it holds all of us back to some degree. Let me ask you this. When you have to make a decision or make a choice, do you make your decisions and choices based on what your mind and logic, like what your mind is telling you, what your brain is telling you, and logic? Or do you make decisions from your heart and your emotions? And I want you to think about that for a minute because this is a very important question. Do you make decisions with your mind using logic? Or do you make decisions from your heart using emotions? And no, it's not a trick question. And I know how some people will think that that's a trick question. And I know I have friends actually that I know what their answer would be already. My friends, most people will answer that question. They will make a decision based on their mind and logic. But is that always what's best? No, it's not. And I'm going to tell you why. Let's talk about making decisions from our hearts. When we make decisions from our heart and our emotions, we will be free from fear. And we will actually feel fulfilled. Do you know that? Operating from our heart is way more fulfilling than operating on simple logic. When we allow our brain, our mind to make our choices and decisions and logic, typically we end up feeling like we were cheated out of something. You will never find a more fulfilling life than using your heart and your emotions. The heart and our emotions are what knows what makes us tick. It knows what we desire. It knows what we want. You shouldn't make all your decisions based on simple logic. You've got to allow your mind and your heart to be involved in decision making. Here's some pointers for, and this is real. This is real stuff. It's going to sound funny, but it's real. To overcome fear, many people do this actually. When they have there's a few people that I talk to on some of the groups that I belong to, and they do webinars, they do public speaking, and they actually do a lot of these things because they have a fear of speaking to big crowds of people, but yet they do it all the time. Um, but think about this. You know, a human being is an animal. We're animals. I mean, we're all animals. How does a typical, like a bear or a tiger, or when they feel threatened, or even a dog, a regular pet, a house dog, um, when they feel threatened, what do? They make a noise. They bark. They roar. You know, um, that is the first and foremost thing that will conquer your fear. That's what builds up the that's what breaks down the fear and builds up the strength in the animal, is to yell or to roar. Obviously we're not going to roar, but if we were to just yell or scream, we would get past that fear. And this is it's proven. I mean, martial artists do this all the time. When we are when we're up against an opponent who maybe we feel threatened by, we express different sounds, different noises, um, to get past that fear. And tactical breathing. If you feel fear, breathing, you have to be tactical about it. You have to be mindful of your breathing and focus on your breathing. And that fear will subside. Then you can always go to the whole thumping your chest. It really works, believe it or not. Puffing your chest, standing up tall and puffing out your chest, that works. It's physiological. Yeah. I always have a problem with that word. Physiologically proven that the subconscious mind and our physical bodies are connected. So I say this. Well, I used to say this to someone quite often, that when you're feeling unhappy or mad, force a smile on your face. Your mind has no other option but to not be mad. It doesn't. You're tricking your mind, and it works. These things work. Like I said, our body and our subconscious mind work hand in hand. We are a lot. Most people think that it's our mind that controls the body, but our body actually has control over the mind also. All right. So now that I've told you in the beginning the 3 words that you shouldn't use. Those 3 words, I'll tell them again. I won't get into the whole thing, but those 3 words are try, why, and can't. Those 3 words are negative words, and they will prevent you from ever progressing. Because when you speak them all the time, you are rewiring your brain into thinking that you're not capable of doing what you're set out to do. So remember, instead of using the word try, use the word attempt. It's much better. And it forces our way of thinking that we actually do have to make an attempt. Because the word try is just going to brush it off to the side and say, well, I tried. No, you didn't. Chances are, no, you didn't. So use the word attempt. Be mindful of that. It's very powerful. Don't use the word why. The word why is just brings you to the past. And if you're not looking to live in your past and you're trying to progress forward, that's the wrong word to use, because why will automatically bring you into the past. Why did something happen? That's typically when the word is used, when someone's or even yourself is asking a question of why something happened or, whatever. But it's forcing the mind to go into the past, to relive the moment that you're asking about or that the person is asking you about. Don't use it. And don't use the word can't. It psychologically limits our reality. So, these are three words that are opposite of those other three. But these three words are going to keep you moving forward. These three words will help you get unstuck if you continue to use these three words. The first one is might. That word is a funny word because it means possibility, but it also means strength. Mighty means strength. And it also means creativity because not only is it giving us possibility that it might happen and the hope that it might happen, but it's also it's forcing our brain to envision it. When I say to you, or if someone says to you, well, this might happen, this particular thing might happen, you're automatically going to picture it in your mind. Automatically. It's all about the language. The second word, specifically. When you're speaking a language in general terms or using specific terms, you're not going to act on general terms. If people are speaking in general, there's no action required. They're just speaking in general. Generally speaking, excuse me. But there's not going to be any action. So be specific. Specific means that you must act. If I say to you, go and make some money. Well, there's probably a billion different ways that someone can go and make some money. So you're going to sit there and you're going to procrastinate because now you got to think of a way to make money because John just told you to go make money. Now it's going to take you 8 months to come up with some half-twisted plan of how to make money. But if I'm more specific to you and I say to you, I have this idea, and if you follow these steps, I guarantee you'll make money. I'm being specific. So now you're going to follow these steps and you're going to make money. Yeah, you can't speak generally. You can't, it's not good. It's not good for the brain. Be specific. And the other word, the last word, use the word now more often. Your future actually depends on now. What you're going to do in this moment, right now, is going to affect 5 minutes from now. It's going to have an effect a day from now, a week from now, a month from now, a year from now, 10 years from now. Focus on the now and use those terms now. That is so important. So important. Don't say, you can't put off things till tomorrow or next week or, whatever. Always use the word now. Because if there was ever a word that could determine our future, it's that word, now. If we go through every moment in the now, knowing that everything we decide in that moment, right now, is going to have an effect on us 5 minutes from now, 10 minutes from now, 20 minutes, a day, a week, a month, a year. If we understand that, we'll make better choices. Ask yourself this question. In every situation, any situation, ask yourself this question. What might I do specifically about the situation I'm in right now? What might I do specifically about the situation that I am in right now? Knowing that the word might is going to give you hope. Knowing that the word specifically is going to give you direction. And knowing that the word now is going to determine your future, whether that future is 5 minutes from now or 5 years from now. But now is what's important. And those are my tips for you. Because I love you. And I don't charge you anything. I do this because I really do. I want people to be happy. Well, I want people to be fulfilled. I keep using that word happy. I don't like that word. Happy is a temporary thing. I'm happy because it's not raining today. But tomorrow it could be rain. Does that mean I'm not going to be happy? Happy is a bad word. I don't like that word. Fulfilled. I want to feel fulfilled. I don't want to feel happy. I want to feel fulfilled. And I'm sure you do too. All right, folks. That's it. I don't know how long we've been going here. I'm on this new platform and I have no idea. But anyway, I'll figure that out. That's all I got. I finished up probably sooner than I thought I would. What time is it? No, it's a half hour. All right. That's it. If you're on our Facebook page, you'll see me more often. If you're not, please like our Facebook page because that's where I go typically during the day, in the mornings. These other platforms are really just used on Tuesday nights. The YouTube and this new platform that I'm on here. But thank you for listening. Thank you for watching. And like I said, like our Facebook page. And if you do, then I'll see you tomorrow. Have a great night, folks. And think about the things that I said, please. They will help. Have a good night. We'll talk soon.